Hello, and welcome to Level Up Your Google Classroom. My name is Hans Tolman. Hopefully you have found your way here. Welcome, East Whittier. So glad to have you guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and open up the chat and look for the website I just pasted in. Here's what you guys are going to do right now. If you haven't done it, you're going to go to bit.ly/levelupgoogleclassroom, or AKA to welcome to Beyond the Basics with Google Classroom, your distance learning toolkit. And you guys are going to complete 3 tasks. You're going to sign in 2 times. Why? Because that's the world we live in. You're going to find the slides, these slides that I'm on right now, and then you're going to introduce yourself in the chat. We have a few more people who have introduced themselves. It looks like Teresa, district nurse. So glad you're here. I love working with nurses. My mom was a nurse. And then we have Mrs. Godshall, Kinder, Miss Borsilis from 6th through 8th grade special ed, Melissa 2nd grade, Susan Learning Center represent. And then we have Kelly from 2nd grade, Naomi from 4th grade coming at you. And then we have, let's see, Doreen, 7th grade ELA, Adriana, social worker, counselor. I love social workers. My wife is a social worker. Don't tell her I told her. She's so uptight about privacy. Anyways, thank goodness this is recorded. And we have Lisa, intervention. Welcome, Lisa. Patricia, 1st grade. Elizabeth, 6th grade. We have all the colors of the rainbow, of the educational grade level rainbow. Bobby, 1st grade. Letty, educator, mommy and me classes. I went to mommy and me before. It's awesome. Okay, so hopefully you guys have had a chance to complete those 3 tasks. Now, for those of you who are new to Zoom, nobody's new to Zoom anymore. You're like zoomed out by now. And look at you guys here after school, 4 o'clock, forget it. But for those of you who are new to Zoom, you may need to exit full screen and re-enter full screen on Zoom, because we're going to be going outside and doing a few things on those tabs behind your Zoom window. I'm dominating your full screen, but you can click on view options, exit full screen, and then you can re-enter full screen. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew how to do that. So anyways, my name is Hans Tolman, educator, trainer, consultant, 16 years education, 10 years 3rd grade, 4 years tech coach, 2 years STEAM specialist. This is my 1st year as a distance learning TOSA. Wow, I don't even know what's going on. I'm pretty googly. I wore my shirt, Google Innovator represent. If you're Google educator, level 1, level 2, or trainer or innovator, drop it in the chat. Our hashtag today, for those of you who are on the Twitterverse, we're going to be using hashtag EngageWGoogle. And so if you're learning something new or want to share something, hashtag EngageWGoogle. So glad you guys are here today. So hey guys, we have a website. It's bit.ly/levelupgoogleclassroom. Hopefully you have found your way there. If you have not, I'm sorry. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. So go there right now, and when you do go there, I'm just gonna click on this. I'm gonna exit that. I'm gonna go over here. So here's our website. We're gonna click on sign in. Now this is the one you definitely want to sign in on. So sign in here to get paid. You want to do that, but then you're also going to sign in to validate my Google Trainer certification, so they know that I'm legit and I'm training people. So thank you for taking the time to do that. And then on the next page, this is where you can find the slides. And if you want, you can pop out the slides into a new tab and follow your way around. Now this video, this training is being recorded. I'm gonna drop the YouTube video right here on the videos tab. At the end, I'm gonna ask you to take 30 seconds to evaluate this training to help me get better at this, because this is actually my first time training on this topic. And then we have some other resources here that I'm going to be talking about a little later. But guys, let's just jump into this thing. Okay, let's get it going. Oh, did you guys sign in? I want you to get paid, because you already work enough on your own time, how about you get paid for learning? I like that. And if you guys are having any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, but I would like to volunteer Valerie. If you are up for it, Valerie, if you see a question in the chat, I would like to give you permission and ask you for a favor. Unmute your mic, interrupt me, and ask the question. So, Valerie, are you okay being my kind of moderator to keep an eye on the chat and interrupt me and ask a question if you see something in the chat?
I will do that.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Valerie and I, we go way back. Q Rockstar Vegas. All right, so here's all the session links. So if you need to find your way back here, go ahead and get out your phone, take a picture of these session links. I'm gonna give you about 5 more seconds to open up your camera app and take a picture of this so you can find your way back on your phone later. All right, time's up. Okay, guys, so I was building this out today and yesterday and all this weekend, and I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna level up you guys' Google Classroom. We're gonna start with the basics. We're gonna then go to communicate, and then we're gonna organize, and then we're gonna engage. But then today I was like, you know what? No, we are not gonna do that. We're gonna flip that on its head, because I wanna start with my dessert. I wanna start with cake, and that's where we engage students. So that's where we're gonna start. And if we get to organize and communicate and start with the basics, that's awesome. But I want to start you guys off right. We're going to start with engaging students. If you ever need to go to any of these topics, you can click on these links, and this will take you to the topic. So we're going to be talking about Flipgrid, Jamboard, Fast and the Curious. So if you use any of these tools, I am empowering you to share what you've done with them, because you guys are the ones on the front line. I want to show you a really quick video about Flipgrid, because it is a game changer when it comes to the distance learning toolkit. Check this out.
Welcome to Flipgrid.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. Say that again, Valerie.
Okay, so Jeremy said, which session is it? I see 2 with the same name. And I was wondering that too. I just picked one because you can't actually see the entire name of the session.
Gotcha.
In the sign-in.
Oh, so this session is Level Up Google Classroom, but Whittier is calling it, let me see, I'm gonna drop it in the chat again. It's calling Beyond the Basics with Google Classroom, your distance learning toolkit. So on the Whittier sign-in sheet, you're gonna look for Beyond the Basics. On my sign-in sheet, you are gonna look for Level Up Google Classroom. I apologize for the confusion there. Thank you for bringing that up, Valerie. I appreciate that. Hopefully that clarifies it. All right, Flipgrid, check it out. Or not, you know, either way.
Welcome to Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a simple, free, and accessible video experience for pre-K to PhD educators, learners, and families. In Flipgrid, educators post discussion prompts and learners respond with videos. To get started, go to flipgrid.com and click Educator Sign Up to create a free Flipgrid account with Microsoft or Google. Once you've signed up, start the discussion by creating your first topic. Your topic can reflect on a chapter of reading, demonstrate an exercise routine, share a hypothesis, anything. I'll make this as simple as share one of your favorite discoveries. Add anything you want your learners to review prior to responding, such as links and videos, to foster enriching inquiry. You can also set the maximum recording time and choose to moderate your topic, meaning video responses will be hidden from your community until you approve them. Your topic is private to your learning community. Add the email domain of your learners, that's everything after the @ symbol in their email, or create a student list for younger learners. Add a guest password if you want to invite families or experts into your discussion. When you're ready, share with your learning community. All they need is this unique code. They can enter the code on the free Flipgrid app or on any computer with a webcam via the Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome browser at flipgrid.com. You can also copy and share this Flipgrid join link wherever you connect with your community, including Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, and Remind. After clicking the unique link or entering the code, your learners will log in either with their Microsoft or Google account or the ID you created for them. Once in, they can see your prompt, access the text with the powerful immersive reader, and when they're ready, click record to add a video with the simple, fun, social media style Flipgrid camera. Share these steps with your community by sharing the Getting Started Students video.
Awesome.
For more ideas.
So that's a little bit about Flipgrid, but I want to show you guys some examples of what this looks like. So it's an online platform where you host a discussion and students respond via video. That means TK kinder teachers, first grade teachers, writing, typing, spelling, no longer barriers. Forget about it. They can look at a camera and speak and communicate. So let's look at a kindergarten introduction. This is Victoria. Let's see what she has to say.
My name is Victoria. My teacher's name is Miss Kazaz, and my family makes me smile.
Isn't that the sweetest thing in the world, guys? Now, something else I did with a group of, well, not a group, like 4 first grade classes, is they had to code their dance moves in a particular order and put them in a loop. And so then they had a dance off where they had to use Flipgrid and record their dances and share that on Flipgrid. So I'm going to show you really quickly a first grade dance off, and I got to go to Liam's. Check this out.
Dab, hands in the air, snap, kick, high five, dab, hands in the air, snap, kick, high five.
The cuteness goes on and on. Our top 10 dance-off videos, that was amazing. You can also have discussions and discuss essential questions like why do we create websites?
We create websites because websites give important information across. But for fact, if I looked up Minecraft website, that would give me facts on the game. But we could do much more, like we can make medical websites about very important things. Websites are helpful. You can learn how to do stuff from them. And the reason we need to create websites is in the future when we're older, we're going to have to use a computer, so we better get used to it.
You better get used to it. Was this guy raised in distance learning or what? And then we also did a 4th grade introduce yourself, just like that kinder example. I'm not going to go into that. You can also check out an example of a school-wide read aloud video where parents, students, teachers can go on and record a read aloud for our younger students to watch. It can also be used for professional development. So like this was a professional development that I did with John Carippo that I'll be doing at ISTE coming up here. And they were supposed to record one type of shot and name it. So after the kids upload their video to Flipgrid, they're gonna have this little window. So anyways, it feels more like an inside joke now that I'm looking at it. But anyways, so guys, let's jump into this. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go to Flipgrid, create a Flipgrid account. I would like you to create a class grid, and I'm going to have you create a topic. Now, your topic could be a talent show. That's my favorite. Have your kids do a talent show. Doesn't matter what talent, something they're good at, they do it on Flipgrid and share. It will change your life. Or you can post a discussion question or a show and tell for our little ones. Have them show something like, something random they have in their house. Then share with students, mind blown. So I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer. My advanced users, intermediates and advanced, I release you to ignore me and ignore what I'm saying for the next 5 minutes. Go forward and create your Flipgrid course. Now, if you already use Flipgrid, I would like you to take some time to drop one idea that you've found successful in the chat. Now for my beginners, if you need to, if you're getting anxious and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Hey, take a deep breath. You don't have to do any of this, okay? Just be calm, all right? Okay? Now, this link here on this website, on this slide, I'm gonna drop it into the chat so you can go directly to this slide. But this is just a little website on how you would get started with Flipgrid. You're gonna see that educator video, a student video, and then they have a step-by-step guide, how you can sign up for your free educator account on flipgrid.com. You can create a topic, set up access and share, learners respond, and it is amazing. I want to share something that Rebecca shared in the chat. She said she used Flipgrid to screen record breakout room skits. All of those words put together in a sentence is kind of blowing my mind right now, Rebecca. I almost wish you could show us what you were talking about, because some people don't know about breakout rooms. Some people may not know about screen record. Naomi, she uses Flipgrid for her students to interact with their UCLA pen pals. Oh my gosh. They have pen pals, except it's Flip Pals, right? So instead of writing, our kids send a video to college students at UCLA. Oh my gosh, my mind is blown. Jessica, she says, I use this for our core lit journal responses. I give them a prompt and they use it, and they use text references from the chapters to give their support or defend their opinion. Love it. Love it. Yes, that is correct, Jessica. You have blown my mind. Joanna, we use Flipgrid for kids to do a book recommendation / reviews / talks. Yes, have the kids sell their book. Like when I say sell it, like pitch it, like get other kids to read their book. Joanna, you probably already know about this. Check it out, book trailers. Have the kids create a book trailer. If they have an iPad with iMovie, oh my gosh, forget about it. YouTube it. And she says, I have my students explain how they solve a math word problem. Yes, that is correct. Did I forget to start the timer? Maybe. It's been what, like 2.5 minutes? Yeah, you have 2.5 minutes to create your Flipgrid, people. My beginners, you're just kicking back, letting this wash over you. Don't even worry about it. And have students explain how they solve math word problems. Yes, please. They can share their screen now on Flipgrid. They can record their screen, so you could give them on Jamboard or a whiteboard or digital, or just get the old-fashioned whiteboard, have them show their work. Yes, thank you, Anne. Bobby, first graders, at the end of the week, kids write a sentence using one of the weekly vocabulary words and high frequency words and record reading their sentence. Love it, love it. And then we have D. Peterson. We used it for Greasers Soch Day, where students acted as a character in character. Oh, I would love to see that. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh, drama, forget about it. Yes. And then Almeida, last year we did our promotion speeches via Flipgrid. I remember I was recording kids for student council, and they would like do their whole campaign on Flipgrid, and then kids could vote on Flipgrid. And I mean, I don't know, it's really cool what you can do. Awesome. Now I'm going to spend the next 1 minute, 19 seconds showing my baby beginners how you would get started on Flipgrid. First, I'm going to go to a new incognito window. I'm going to go to flipgrid.com. Can you believe 20 minutes has gone by? I need to move on, guys. I don't even have time for my baby beginners. So baby beginners, if you want to look into this, bookmark this website right here. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Awesome. For those of you who had a chance to share, thank you so much. The rest of you, I'm cutting you off after 45 seconds. Now, the second tool I want to talk to you guys about briefly is Jamboard. So you can go to jamboard.google.com and create a Jamboard. You can also add a jam to your Google assignments. And now you can add a collaborative Jamboard on Google Meet. Video, like it's the Zoom, Google version of Zoom that has a lot of updates coming up. You can insert things, you can write things, and guys, for those of you who are not on the Twitter, I hope you are, and I hope you left your Twitter handle in the sign-in so I can follow you later. But there's a bunch of people sharing stuff. If you just like go on Twitter and type in #Jamboard, you're gonna find some amazing ways that teachers are using Jamboards. Twitter is kind of the place where teachers are going to share what they're learning about and sharing resources for free. Sure, teachers pay teachers, but teachers give teachers too. And they do it on Twitter. So if you're not on the Twitterverse, I encourage you to get there. But for our purposes today, we're gonna jam through this, guys. So basically Jamboard is a Google tool. It's a whiteboard tool for synchronous instruction. It can be synchronous or asynchronous. Students can write down, can get their own copies in Google Classroom. And by the way, shout out to Susan Stewart. These are some of her slides. So guys, let's try this. Let's try a jam together. So if you're following me on the slides, you can just click on this image right here. But for our purposes, I'm going to drop this jam into the chat. Oh, also shout out to Nicole. We use Flipgrid for 60 seconds of good news to build class community. Also to do oral peer reviews of writing pieces. Yes, Nicole, yes, that's amazing. All right, as you guys find your way to the chat and open the Jamboard, you guys are gonna vote for your favorite ice cream. And yes, there is one correct answer, okay? This is how you vote. On the left side of the Jamboard, see that toolbar? Right in the middle, there's a little Post-it. All you gotta do is click on that Post-it and type your name and click Save. Then you drag your Post-it to your favorite ice cream. It doesn't have to be strawberry, okay? Even though strawberry is the best. So after you're done writing your name, go ahead and drag your Post-it. You may have to drag someone else's Post-it out of the way because it just kind of piles in one spot. Also, I believe Jamboard has a limit of 50 people. So do you get a copy of these slides? Absolutely. I'm going to drop them into the chat right now. Thank you for asking, Kimberly. Boom, there you go. Now, if you want, you can go to File, make a copy, and they'll be yours for you to own. Like a boss. All right, we have 32 people in the jam. I see all of these anonymous badgers and tigers and all sorts of anonymous people. Oh, the votes are coming in, people. You know, I'm really disappointed in you guys. I thought strawberry was the best. Are people really choosing vanilla, or are they just accidentally leaving their Post-it there, their sticky note there? Guys, I think if this was a competition, if we were voting, I think mint would be president. Wouldn't that be amazing, having mint ice cream as president? So after you vote, what I want you to do at the top of the Jamboard, do you guys see that little card thing? Click on that to expand that frame bar. You guys can also go to these other pages and choose your favorite pet. You can choose a cat or a dog. You could go to the third frame and you could learn how to spell pig, okay? You go to the fourth frame and figure out converting fractions and decimals on a number line. You could also go to the frame 5 and you could use the highlighter tool to mark the sentence that shows when someone is speaking. So working on quotes. You could also go to the 7th one. What do you see? Use the pen or sticky note to describe. Love this for younger grades. And then we have a plotting thing, math problem on number 9. And then number 10, which doesn't belong? This looks advanced. I feel like this is high school. So this is Flipgrid, guys. Now that you've had a chance to play, here's what I want you guys to do. If you want to see some other examples, come back and find me. We kind of have some of these examples, but these are just some ideas of how you could use Flipgrid with your, or not Flipgrid, excuse me, Jamboard with your students. It works great as a mind map. So like you could have an essential question like who has made an impact on you? And you could have each student have their own frame, and they could go in, insert a picture of their parents, and brainstorm, mind map their ideas. Yeah. So some Jamboard tips. Use transparent stickies if you want, but now they have a text box that you can insert. Control D equals duplicate. Oh, yes. Thank you, Veronica. Yes. Thank you
Veronica
for.
says, are these pre-made or do you have to create them from scratch?
So when you create a Jamboard, you start from scratch. But if you wanted to, you could make a copy of the Jamboard I just gave you. If you wanted to do that, you could get lost, find your way to the 3 dots, and then make a copy so it lands in your drive and you have access and ownership of it. And it doesn't affect my original. Great question. Thank you, Valerie and Veronica, for asking that question. Another cool thing is if you want to find a way to capture this and insert a Jamboard into a slide or a website, you can save your frame as an image under the 3 dots. So whatever's in that frame, you save it as an image. Guys, you can also use emoji. That's a cool way to get the kids interacting. And these are all the tools that you can use. We didn't really go over all of them, but Jamboard is just getting better and better over time. So I want you guys to try to make your own Jamboard. I'm going to give you, we're taking so much time, guys, but I feel like these engagement tools are worth the time. I'm going to start a 2-minute timer, and I'm going to have you guys create your own Jamboard. 2-minute timer, starting now. You may begin, and this is what you're going to do. For those of you who are like starting to hyperventilate, it's okay. Take a deep breath. I'm going to walk you through this, okay? I want you to open a new tab by holding down Control and the letter T. Control T, new tab. If you don't learn anything, learn that today. Control T, new tab. 3, 2, 1, Control T. Now I want you to type in jamboard.google.com. And because I like you, I'm going to drop jamboard.com into the chat. You're welcome. You're welcome. Jamboard.google.com. Now, from here, I would like you to click on the orange plus button in the bottom right corner. See that down there? Get ready to click. Going extra slow for my beginners. 3, 2, 1, click. And now you have created a Jamboard. You can also go to your Google Drive, create new, more Jamboard. I would title it, call this practice or whatever. Press OK. So you click on the name in the top left corner and then you change it. We have 34 seconds left. It's just not enough time. I would like you to take these next few seconds to play with the pens. There's a highlighter there. Play with the eraser. And then there's a select tool, which, you know, it works if you're selecting objects. You already know about the sticky note. You can also add an image. You can upload, Google image search, Google Drive, your Google Photos. You can also insert shapes and fill them and color those lines. Stretch them out and rotate them and all sorts of business. Text box, I just added this recently. Type text. Make it bigger. Boom. So guys, our timer went off, the silent timer, and we have to continue on our way. because there's so much, guys. There's so much to do. So we're moving on from Jamboard. Interesting. So cool. Love that. All right. So guys, the third thing that I wanted to share with you about student engagement, which we're not going to have a lot of time for, but we may come back to it because it's so freaking amazing. This is a strategy from John Carippo's book, Edu Protocols, Field Guide to Edu Protocols. And basically there's a list of strategies and engaging activities you can do for any grade level, any subject area. You just change the content. And this Edu protocol is called the Fast and the Curious. And on this slide, if you click on this Smart Start for my advanced users, you will see a lot of Edu protocols on this left side. Boom. Towards the bottom, you'll see the Fast and the Curious. And there, you can check out the instructions. But basically, the way it works, on day one, you play a quiz, you review the quiz, and then you play the quiz again. That's it. Day two, play the same quiz, review the quiz, play the quiz again. That's it. Now, after you play the quiz, you're going to sort your problems or your answers by the worst one at the top. And you do a quick 3-minute mini lesson on the worst answered question. And then you have them take the quiz again. And each day, they'll start at like 50%. Next day, jump up to 70%. Day 3, in the 90s. Day 4, that's when you have your final graded quiz. It's the same quiz. They've just done it, 2, 4, 6, 7 times. And it's all about repetition, getting those reps in. So Fast and the Curious, it's amazing. If we have a chance at the end, I want to play it with you guys.
We have another question about the slides. They're on the slides page of your website, correct?
So on the website, thank you for letting me know about that question. On the website, if you go to slides, you will see today's complete slide deck. And you can pop it out, you can go through it, you can also skip ahead. So like if you wanted to skip over to the Fast and the Curious, you could click on these links and those would bump you out of the slide deck into a new tab and you would have access to all these resources. So anytime you see words with a color that are underlined, that's a resource for you to open up and check out. So these are the directions for the Fast and the Curious. Thank you for that question. Awesome. Great questions. Okay, so we've just talked about 3 strategies. We've spent half our time on engagement, which is awesome. That's what I wanted. But now we're gonna scale it back and get really practical. And we're gonna talk about how you can organize Google Classroom in a distance learning environment so it's easier for your students to maneuver. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about hiding classwork. We're gonna talk about weekly topics. We're gonna talk about emojis and hashtag assignments. So to hide your classwork from the stream, I have a quick video by my guy, Tom.
1 minute. First thing to do in the stream. This is
I like the way he explains it. He does a better job than I would.
too much stuff, all this junk. No. We're going to get it down to just announcements. We hit settings and then here classwork on the stream, hide notifications, hit save, and look at all the junk that goes away. Oh yeah, no more assignments. Why? Because we're going to do our work in the Classwork tab.
All right, Tom, I agree with you 100%. So what he's saying is that a lot of times the stream can get cluttered with new assignments and announcements and all of these different things and resources, and it just piles. And there's no way to really organize it. It's just a big pile of like a stream of consciousness of classwork or whatever. But if you can limit that to just announcements and keep the classwork in classwork, you'll be able to organize it in classwork a lot better. So I'm going to show you how you can do this really quickly. I have the step-by-step instructions, but basically, and if you guys want to follow along with me, you can open a tab, Control-T, new tab, classroom.google.com. And since this is an advanced classroom training, I assume you already have a Google Classroom. If you don't, you can create one with the plus sign on the fly. It can be a practice class. Basically, what you do is you go to the settings in the top right, go down to classwork on the stream, and hide notifications, and then click that save button, just like what Tom showed us. And then only announcements will show up in the stream. So your announcements, you just do those right there. And so that's going to make your communication a lot more clean to your students and parents. All right, moving on. And Valerie, feel free to interrupt me if anything comes up. If you guys need to come back, it's so funny. I love that you can annotate in Zoom. That's so cool. But now I want it to go away. All right, I'm just going to take a moment here. How do you erase the scribble on your Zoom, guys? Anyone know? Bueller?
You have to open up the toolbar again, open up the annotations, and then there's a clear.
Thank you, Rebecca. Boom. I appreciate that. Awesome. And then let's close it. Sweet. Thank you for that. All right, so the next tip for organization is creating weekly topics. And this young lady does a really good job of explaining it, but basically in Google Classroom, you click on classwork, click that plus create sign, and then you choose a topic, and some title ideas would be like week 1 or week of October 19th to the 23rd, or week 1 at marking October 19th, 2020. Basically, she talks about how she used, I'm going to give her 30 seconds to get to the point.
Now let's move over to the Classwork tab. This is where all of your assignments and materials and things that you post for students is housed. Now, it's all fun and games until you start posting a lot of assignments, and then very quickly it becomes overwhelming. I just put in like 2 weeks worth of assignments, and as you can see, it looks like just one really long list, and it's very difficult to navigate. So I recommend creating topics in order to keep these assignments organized. There are so many different ways you could organize them. I know some teachers who organize them by subject areas. I know some teachers who organize them by the day of the week. Personally, I used to organize it by either subject, or sometimes I even had separate Google Classrooms for my different subjects, and then I would organize by like category or like unit. But since we have shifted to online teaching and I'm pushing out all of my assignments through Google Classroom, I am choosing to organize by the week. I personally think it's easiest if students can see all of their assignments for the week in one place, and they can look back at last week's assignments or look at the current week. That's what works for me, and that's what I'm going to create a topic. I'm going to click assignments. That's why I choose.
So basically, week assignments. And the way this looks is, if you want to join me in your Google Classroom to try this out, you would open a new tab, Control-T. You can also click on the waffle or the app launcher and scroll your way down to Google Classroom and find it there. Once you're in your Google Classroom, you can click on Classwork, click that plus create button, and go down to topic. And then you would put, like, I think we're on week 9. I like the idea of adding the date there. And then you would add that. So now we have that. Now, since we're getting close to Halloween, you can also rename your topic and add an emoji at the top. And when I think of October, I think of jack-o'-lanterns. I'm just going to put that there. So now under classwork, you see my topic, and there I can list all of my assignments underneath that week 9. So that's her recommendation, but you can organize it however you want. And then if you have any assignments, you can drag and drop them into those topics. So the next thing for organization on Google Classroom is adding emojis and hashtags to your assignments, or numbers, excuse me. So you'd go to classwork, click create an assignment, and when you're titling your assignments, in order for your students to be able to find them quickly and easily, start with hashtag 001. This is an Alice Keeler tip. Or hashtag 002. And you can also insert an emoji. And what this is going to do is, since all of your assignments are created in folders in your drive, this will create a chronological list that you can sort from 1 to however many assignments you have, and you'll be able to see the exact order versus random alphabetized assignments. One is in the first quarter, the next one is from the 4th quarter, and so on. So this is just going to keep things organized. And I see, yeah.
Can you, Kimberly asked, how do you add the emoji?
I saw the chat blowing up. Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at that time. All right, we have 20 minutes left. Okay, let's talk emojis. Now, if you have a MacBook, there's a really quick, easy way to get emojis. Control, Command, Space. 3 keys, hold down Control, hit that command, and press space. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that, but now I have access to all my emojis. I can search and so on. Now, if you are on a Windows machine, when I Googled this, I don't have a Windows, I haven't used it in years. Windows and semicolon. So the Windows key and the semicolon button. So if you hold that down and press semicolon, then you can access emojis. Now, if you're on a Chromebook, I think you right click, and then there should be an emoji thing on your menu. Now, if you get lost and like, oh my gosh, that's so much, just open a new tab and go and Google emoji. It's like Emoji Wikipedia or Emoji Wikipedia. I feel like that's not what I want. There's a better one. Oh, emojis.wiki. I'll drop this in the chat. Okay, Bobby is confirming right-click and emoji works on the district laptop. Thank you for clarifying that, Bobby. Rebecca, she says the Chrome extension Joy Pixel is amazing for emojis. And for the rest of you, emojis.wiki, you can search, and then you can just copy whatever. Smiley emojis. Is it? Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I just want to highlight, Control-C, copy. Oh, and she dropped a link to that extension, Joy Pixel. Thank you, Rebecca. Ooh, #1 emoji keyboard. I'm gonna try it out. Okay, I'll have to play with that later though. Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for that tip. So anyways, so check out my example over here. Here's my week 1. I have hashtag 001. I use an emoji, and then I put whatever the assignment is. Hashtag 002 emoji assignment. And when you name your assignments, keep it short, sweet, and to the point, focused on the task. Like here's an example, hashtag 001 emoji, write 1 paragraph about thankfulness. So now, when I was Googling when I was on Twitter and searching for hashtag Google Classroom, because I want to see what's most recent with Google Classroom, Tracy Walker, I don't know who she is. I follow her now, but I don't know her. But she shared this really cool infographic on how she organizes her topics and assignments. She places an emoji for the topic of the current week. So she only has that jack-o'-lantern on the week of October 12th. The next week she moves that emoji so the students can kind of track it on the side, because your topics are going to show up on the side over here under all topics, and they can click on that topic and see all of the assignments, so they only see the assignments for that week. So she has some other tips here. She has some interesting ideas on how she numbers her assignments. I prefer the hashtag 001 and have it go from, like, 1 to like 300 or whatever in order. But she has a different system, and she also has an emoji little colored dot for her days of the week. So there's Tuesday, maybe Monday. Anyways, color codes, abbreviations. Guys, we got to land this plane, and we're not going to get through everything because there's just so much, and that's okay. But I'm really glad we started with engage. Now, if you have, oh, Patricia's sharing one, emojicopy.com. I want to just go there, and I'm going to activate that link again for you, Patty, Patricia. Oh, this is it. Search tiger. There it is. Highlight, or you just copy. Is it clicking copying it? Or maybe I have to click copy. Oh, there it is. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So many cool things and learning. So we've talked about engaging students. We've talked about organizing, and we're really going backwards. We're like going back in time to the beginning of school. But at the beginning, after you learn the basics, you got to communicate. So with the time that we have, I'm going to briefly show you how to create a secure Meet link in Google Classroom. I'm going to give you an example of a parent message you can send. We're going to talk briefly about Meet protocols and a needs survey. And then Teresa's wondering, can you send us a copy of all the links in the chat? Here's what I'll do, Teresa. I'm going to take the next 30 seconds to go to resources. No, wrong one. Oh, this is right. Oh, I need to change this. There's a baby foot for baby steps to Google Classroom. If you're in this session, you guys can't see that. Hang on a sec. Sorry, guys. I meant for you to see the screen the whole time, but I wasn't showing it to you. My bad. So if you go to our website, which is bit.ly/levelupGoogle Classroom, and if you go to resources, and if you open up this Google Doc, more Google Classroom resources, if I have time, I'll add them here, but I'm going to make this editable by anyone with the link. So if there's something on here that you think everyone should have, like that extension, feel free to drop it in here. You can just paste the link in there. And I will drop this document in the chat, because to be honest, I'm not going to have time to add. So someone's asking, how do you insert emojis? I'm going to briefly show you. So I go to create, I create an assignment. When it's time to insert an emoji, you use that extension that we learned about today, or you go to emoji copy, you click on the, oh, you can copy it down here. Control-C copy. If you're using a Mac, it's Command-C, and then Control-V paste. So I just pasted that emoji there. All right. And Valerie, thank you for interrupting me. I'd rather not call it interrupting because I'm asking you to do it. Oh, and Jessica also says you can also hit the 3 dots and save the chat to a folder. I'll do that. Let's see if I can save that to my drive. Save chat. I'll connect that later. All right. So one of the advantages of using Google Classroom is that your Google you can generate a secure Google Meet link that only your students can access, and they can only access when you are in that Google Meet. So the way you do this, I'm just going to show you.
To use Google Meet in Google Classroom, here's what you do. You click on the settings gear in the top right corner, scroll down, and click Generate Meet Link. This will create a unique link that's connected directly to your Google Classroom. You can copy that link. You can also make it visible or invisible to students. Make sure you click Save in the top right corner. And then the students will see the Google Meet link that will only be active when you are in that meeting. They'll also be able to find it on Classwork right next to the Google Calendar icon. And again, this link will only be active when the teacher of the classroom is in it.
Thanks, Hans. Well done, sir. All right. Now, some of you may be a little skeptical, like, wait a second. What's going to happen if I'm not in that Google Meet and a student tries to sneak in? Well, let's take a look at what happens.
Here we have a student's Chromebook, and they're in my Google Classroom. As you can see, I have the Google Meet link generated. Now the student will click on that Google Meet link, but since the teacher isn't in it, she's going to go to this page, getting ready. Uh-oh, this meeting hasn't started yet. So, until the teacher enters the meeting, the student will not be allowed to enter.
So, that's what happens. Now, if the teacher is in the meeting, watch what happens.
Here's a student's Chromebook computer. They're ready to join their teacher in the Google Classroom generated Google Meet link. Once the student clicks on that link and the teacher is in the Google meeting, the student will see this page. They'll click Join Now, and they will see their teacher.
There's their teacher. So Google Classroom creates this unique link that students will try to get into, but if you're not there, then they can't get into it. Now, I will tell you this, if you're done with the Google Meet link, you need to be the last person to leave. Otherwise, if there's a student still in there, then they can keep it open and others can join without you there. Now, guys, if we had time, we would send a message to parents at the beginning of the school year. I feel like I'm going back in time. You guys are already beyond this, but for next year, I'm going to give you 1 minute to open up this example. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this example in the chat. I don't like that. I think this should still work. Weird. Okay, well, I'm going to have to fix that later, guys. Also, if you are doing video calls, having protocols set up on how you're expecting your students to behave online. Again, this is more for beginning of the year stuff. This is an infographic by Carly Moore and Matt Miller, who I met on the Twitterverse. Here's some other examples of protocols. And 2 of them are by the Distance Learning Playbook, which has been a helpful resource for some teachers. I want to show you example number 3. This is a TK class Google Meet protocol graphic. My links are just not working today. I guess the internet can't handle me. You're lost, internet. Something else that I like to do at the beginning of the year, especially with distance learning, since you're kind of cut off from your students and your families, your student families, sending out a Google form to get ideas about what they need can be really helpful. You can get the parent contact information, their communication preferences, device and internet access information, like Do they have internet? Do they have a device? How many devices are there? Things like that. And what needs do they have so that you are informed on how to best meet their needs. And if the internet lets this work, then you guys can make a copy of this Google form and you can edit it, make it your own, add stuff, remove stuff. I have a video here that you can check out on YouTube. It's not really specific to parents, but something that I like to do on forms is in the description. I like to use Google Translate at translate.google.com to copy whatever my question item is and paste it into the description in Spanish, because we have a lot of Spanish speakers. So getting their mother guardian's first and last name, father guardian's first and last name, cell numbers, emails, contact preference, how do they want to be contacted, when is the best time for video conference calls for them, which days of the week are best for them, what streaming services do they have? Because if they all have Netflix, you can assign a Netflix documentary as an assignment. What devices do they have? Do they have different district Chromebooks, etc.? And guys, the last, it really should have been first, but starting with the basics. If you feel like you are overwhelmed with all of what's happening in this session, well, I would like to invite you to join me again this Thursday, where we're going to slow it down and we're going to talk about the 10 baby steps to Google Classroom. And that will be this Thursday at 4 p.m. on that same document that you found to access this training. And I also have a document. If you're more of like, I need this written out step-by-step instructions, well, there's a document that can help you. And I'll be talking about that on Thursday. And this is the lineup of what we're going to go over. These are the 10 baby steps that I'm going to take you guys through. And we would only be able to get through like 3 or 4 of the steps because I take it super slow. This is for beginners. So if you're advanced users, please don't come. Go to a session where you can learn more. Well, guys, we're gonna end our time together, and I'm going to ask that you take 30 seconds to give me some feedback on the website, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to drop this into the chat. So this was my first time doing this session, and a lot of things went wrong. However, you guys can help me make it better, so I don't put teachers through that experience again. So on the website, under the page evaluation, I just dropped it into the chat. You would click level up your Google Classroom. You would rate it on a scale from 1 to 10. Please be honest. I felt I would give it like a 6, maybe. There's a lot of improving. And then add your ideas on how I can make this better. And I'm going to read through your comments and adjust stuff to my training to make it better. Did you like starting with engagement first versus baby steps? I've totally flipped the order. If you were beginner teachers, I would start with baby steps, then I'd go to communication, organization, and then engagement. What did you think about that order? So that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time and you had a chance to learn stuff. And feel free to unmute your mic and say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, and if you unmute if you turn on your camera, I can see your beautiful faces. And I know that there's humans on the other side. Jeremy giving me his best beautiful face.
Thank you.
See you guys. Have a great evening.
Goodbye.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you, Susan. See you,
Thank
Aubrey.
you.
See you, Miss Munoz. Have a great evening. And the rest of you who are still hanging out, just have a dance party. I can hear the music. You guys can't. Or maybe you can. Can you guys hear that? No? Oh. Oh, Marlene can hear it. I am so impressed that you guys even showed up today, because teachers are just zooming all day long. Oh my gosh. Who could have even predicted this? Oh, I guess I can stop recording now, huh?